Does help, doesn't it? It does. Your constructive comments will help us to learn more about your neighborhood, which in turn will help us to make informed decisions. Those of you who are pre-registered for today's meetings will have an opportunity to speak. You do not have to be solely in support or opposition. It's okay to share your thoughts about those elements that you do and don't like about the proposal and to ask questions. Anyone who wishes to receive notice of any decision on any of the applications being heard today will need to contact the Secretary Treasurer by email at planning@meaford.ca or by phone at 519-538-1060, extension 1127, to have their contact information added to the file for future notices. Haley, are there any changes to the agenda other than it's been circulated?
Through you, Mr. Chair. No.
Thank you. Gentlemen of the committee, does anybody have any pecuniary interest or other interest in the property in question? Okay. First, we would like to acknowledge the meeting on the traditional lands and treaty territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, which includes the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation and the Chippewas of Saugeen First Nation. We also recognize the Métis, whose ancestors shared this land and these waters. We wish to extend our gratitude to all Anishinaabe and Métis people and their descendants, past, present, and future, who continue to care for and inhabit these lands and tend these waters. Gentlemen, have we all had a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes.
Are there any comments? No. Could I have a motion to accept the those minutes? Peter and Ed? Now, specifically, this is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to consider an application for consent under Section 53 of the Planning Act for the lands at 317294 Third Line, Meaford, formerly St. Vincent. The requirement to hold this meeting, as there must be at least 14 days of notice as prescribed by the Planning Act. Haley, can you confirm to me that the notice was published?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, the notice was provided on November 6, 2025, giving more than the required 14 days notice.
Thank you. Michael, can you please summarize the application and provide us with any comments you may have? Come in.
So through you, Mr. Chair, these applications request consent to sever one residential building lot and one agricultural lot from an existing agricultural parcel, which is approximately 41.3 hectares in size. Lot 1 will be approximately 19.4 hectares in size and have 88.7 meters of frontage on Third Line. Lot 2 will be 0.8 hectares in size and have 62.2 meters of frontage on Third Line. The lands would be serviced by new private well and septic systems and would have access on Third Line and open and maintained municipal road. The lands are designated rural and environmental protection in the Meaford official plan. Comments were received from the Historic Saugeen Métis Lands, Waters, Consultation Department, Rogers Communications, Bell Canada, and Grey County Planning and Ecology staff, all stating they had no concerns with the applications as presented. Comments were received from Grey Sauble Conservation Authority after the posting of the agenda, stating no concerns with the subject applications. These comments were provided to the committee ahead of today's meeting. Comments were received from a nearby property owner after the posting of the agenda, stating concerns related to the protection of the seasonal creek on the property, the potential impacts on wells in the area, and including some questions about the number of severance policies and building permit requirements. These comments were provided to the committee ahead of today's meeting. More comments were received from neighbors after the date of the agenda. They came in as we were driving over, so they haven't been provided to the committee, but I'll provide them now. A neighbor has concerns about increase in density in the neighborhood and about the protection of farmland. So all that being said, after a review of the proposal based on the applicable planning policies and documents, staff are satisfied that the application is consistent with the policies of the PPS and upholds the intent and purpose of the official plans and zoning bylaw. If the recommended conditions are implemented, as such, staff are recommending approval of the application.
Thank you. Has each member of the committee visited the subject lands? Yes. And does anybody have any questions or issues arising out of what they have seen or what they're aware of? Ed?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to hear from the applicant before I make any comments. Thank you.
Very good. Is the applicant here to speak? If you could step up to the microphone, make sure it is turned on, please. State your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, committee members. My name is Christopher Freeman. I share a surname with the applicant, Larissa Freeman. That's more by accident than design. They started getting my mail about 40 years ago, and that's how we got to know each other. I'm a lawyer in Toronto, and I made this application on behalf of Mrs. Freeman. The proposal is really part of an estate plan going forward. Mrs. Freeman is a widow. Some of your committee members may remember her husband, Dave Freeman, who died back in 2013. And she has now 2 sons, and she's a widow. So this is what we regard as a sensible split up of the property so that she can remain in possession of half the property and operate effectively with funds that will be raised from the sale of the building lot. In future, the second lot would be part of possibly of a disposition to one of her sons. As far as I'm aware, this proposal meets all the Planning Act requirements. I heard reference to a neighbor suggesting concern about density. This will produce, if permitted, this will produce a total of 5 lots in the original 200-acre lot. The planning policy is a maximum of 6, so we're less than the maximum. And the existing severances that have taken place on this 200-acre lot are such that it's unlikely there would be a 6th because of the way the lots are laid out. And in the I'll call it the square mile around these properties, nearly every lot has been subdivided. There are obviously the exceptions. Ron Hayden's property is still basically complete, but nearly every other lot has been divided and subdivided. But again, all with an agrarian approach. Farming is still the prime operation on this land, and it's intended that it will be in future. I heard reference to a well issue. Mrs. Freeman has actually just had a new well drilled because her old well unfortunately gave way after 40 years. But a new well has been drilled and that's operating well. And I do know from the research that we did on the geological site, the geology report, and it's in the materials that you have, that the most recent new well drilled immediately to the north is actually producing 15 gallons a minute, which is like almost 3 times the general standard. So I don't think there's a shortage of water problem there. And I heard reference to protection of the natural streams on the property. Those streams are basically run north-south through both halves of the property. They're well protected and would remain protected. They're marked out by the Grey County plan, and this development doesn't affect them at all. I'm open to any other questions that any member of the committee or the public have.
Okay, well, Thank you. First, from the committee, does anybody have any questions for the gentleman? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I now call on any members of the public who wish to make comment on this application. If you'd like to, if you're here and you'd like to comment, step up to the microphone and give your name. No one here in the room wishes to speak. Is there anybody online? Okay. Who is it?
Hi.
Hello there.
Oh, hi. My name is Stephanie Perry and I'm online and I just had a quick question.
Go ahead, please.
I'm the neighbor. I'm at 317332 third line. And I'm just curious about the lot 2, which is going to be 0.8 hectares. Is that available for sale? The reason I ask is because that little lot will be very close to my property. And I've bought the property, you know, it's a rural property for quiet and space. And I'm just wondering if it is for sale. And additionally, if it's not, why not, I guess. And yeah, so those are my questions.
Can you speak to that, please?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Stephanie, the lot will probably be sold. It's a long process yet. It's a 2-acre lot. It's quite well separated from your property, which is about nearly 150, 200 feet from the boundary. If it's for sale, if it goes into the public market for sale, it will be advertised, and we'll certainly make sure that you're aware. But I'm not anticipating a public sale at this time.
Isn't it adjacent to my property, like right beside it, according to this?
If you're the property, I think you're the.
I'm the old farmhouse, so I'm the severed 5 acres from that original land. Yeah.
It is adjoining your southern boundary,
Yes.
but your property is away from that southern boundary, and I anticipate any building would be away from what would be the northern boundary of that lot.
Mm-hmm.
There would be significant separation. Nobody in the country, I think, wants to build a house on top of anybody else.
Well, that's my worry, actually.
So don't worry, I understand.
You know, as a neighbor, I didn't know anything about this, and it feels like it makes me feel sad, I have to say. And that's, I was wondering even if that little plot, could it not be moved south on the lands in question?
That doesn't work on the plan we have. So this is a family plan,
Mhm.
if I can put it that way.
I see.
But
Like
I think you will find that the building department and indeed if a third party buys it, any third party who buys it is not going to want to build a house on top of yours.
Great.
So,
Well, I hope that I will be approached if it does go for sale.
Well, we will certainly make a point of letting you know.
All right. Okay.
You have my promise on that,
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Are there anyone else online? Nobody else online? Any other questions from committee members? Michael, is there anything you wish to add at this point?
Through you, Mr. Chair, nothing at this point. If there are any more questions, I'll answer them, but.
Okay. David?
Through you, Chair, to Michael, if the big lot remains agricultural and somebody comes in there and puts a pig operation in, what about the MDS calculations for this then separate lot? How does that work?
Yeah, so through you, Mr. Chair, if these lots were to be created, for example, and then some years down the line, someone comes in and wants to put in a pig operation on the large lot, they would have to comply to MDS2 separation setbacks at that time. So any new livestock facility has to do their own kind of calculations to ensure they don't interfere with residential ones nearby. So they couldn't, for example, just come in and plop one right in the middle of all these houses. They would have to conform to the measurements at that time.
Thank you. Any final questions or issues to be raised? I just remind people, this application is for B18, which is for the, we're going to, after this, we will go to B19, which is the other piece of property. So it, Haley, can you read the recommended decision and conditions?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the recommended decision is that the Committee of Adjustment of the Municipality of Meaford approve consent B18 2025 to sever parcel from the property at 317-294 third line, subject to the following conditions. First, that the applicant meets all the requirements of the municipality, financial or otherwise, for the certificate of consent to be issued. Second, payment of cash in lieu of parkland dedication for the severed lands. Third, confirmation that an entrance permit is available from the road authority and will be provided by the applicant prior to the final approval. And lastly, that the final reference plan be provided to the municipality for review to the satisfaction of the municipality.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the decision and conditions? Peter, second. Ed? Thank you very much. Next steps, Haley?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the applicant can now take down the sign on the property, and I will provide a notice to them by Friday this week.
Oh, yes, it does help, doesn't it? Could I have a vote on that motion, please, to approve? When you bring in a relief picture, sometimes you take a chance. That concludes the activities with regards to B18. We'll now move on to the issue of B19. And it'll be very similar to what we just went through, but this is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to consider an application for consent under Section 53 of the Planning Act for the lands at 137294 Third Line in Meaford, formerly St. Vincent. Haley, the requirement to hold this meeting is there must have been at least 14 days notice as prescribed by the Planning Act. Can you please confirm that there have been 14 days?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, the notice was provided on November 6th, giving more than the required 14 days notice.
Thank you. Michael, can you please summarize the application?
So I did a little the first time. Through you, Mr. Chair, I did a little the first time, but I'll go through this again. So the applicant requests consent to sever one agricultural lot from an existing agricultural parcel with approximately 41.3 hectares in size. This lot will be approximately 19.4 hectares in size, have 88 meters of frontage on Third Line. The lands would be serviced by a new private well and septic system and would have access on Third Line and open and maintained municipal road. The lands are designated rural and environmental protection in the Meaford official plan. So comments were received from the Historic Saugeen Lands Métis Waters Consultation Department, Rogers Communications, Bell Canada, and Grey County Planning and Ecology staff stating no concerns. Comments were received from Grace Sobel after the posting of the agenda, stating no concerns with the subject application, and these comments were provided to the committee ahead of today's meeting. Comments were received from a nearby property owner after the posting of the agenda, stating concerns related to the protection of a seasonal creek on a property, the potential impacts on wells in the area, and including questions about the severance number policies and building permit requirements. These comments were provided ahead of the meeting, and then I summarized briefly the comments received immediately before the meeting with more questions about lot density and well protection. And so after a review of the proposal based on the applicable planning policies and documents, staff are satisfied that this application is consistent with the policies of the PPS and upholds the intent and purpose of the official plans and zoning bylaw. If the recommended conditions are implemented, as such, staff are recommending approval.
Thank you. Well done. Has each member of the committee visited the lands in question? Thank you. And at this point, do we have any questions or concerns? None? And sir, as the applicant, did you wish to say, repeat yourself?
As a lawyer, I should probably say yes, but as a person, I shall say
You're
no.
paid by the hour, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public who would like to add to this second thing, this second matter? Thank you. Gentlemen, any other comments? No, then Haley, can you read the recommendations and pardon me, the decision and conditions?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the recommended decision is that the Committee of Adjustment of the Municipality of Meaford approve consent B19-2025 to sever a parcel from the property at 317294 third line, subject to the following conditions. First, that the applicant meets all the requirements of the municipality, financial or otherwise, for the certificate of consent to be issued. Secondly, payment of cash in lieu of parkland dedication for the severed lands. Third, confirmation that an entrance permit is available from the road authority and will be provided by the applicant prior to final approval. Fourth, that the final reference plan be provided to the municipality for review to the satisfaction of the municipality. And lastly, prior to the signing of the certificate of official for the lot to be created through consent application B19-2025, the lot to be created through consent application B18-2025 must be finalized and registered with the Land Registry Office.
Thank you. Any comments or questions with regards to the decision and conditions? No? Can I have a motion to approve them as stated? Peter? Ed? All those in favor? Approved? Haley, next steps?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the applicants can now take down the sign on their property, and I will provide a notice to them by Friday. Thank you.
I note that the next meeting of this committee will be January 28th in the new year, 2026. There's nothing in December. Are there any further comments? And if not, I declare this meeting adjourned.